Hello, welcome back to another installment in this series, one verse a week. This week's parsha is Parashat Vayeilech. It can be found in your Bibles from Deuteronomy 31:1 through 31:30. This video series is being produced for the reading cycle for the Jewish year 5779. You notice today's reading is a short reading. That is, as we wind down the cycle, and as the Jewish fall holiday season sort of ramps up, the weekly burden on reading is lessened as we have other burdens in terms of preparing for the holidays, building our sukkah and things of that matter. So when the rabbis designed this learning system, they cut us some slack towards the end of the year. They knew we would be busy. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, the verse I chose for this week is Deuteronomy 31:9. Let's go ahead and read that a few times. It says, Vayiktov Moshe et haTorah hazot vayitna el hakohanim b'nei Levi hanosim at Aaron, Brit Hashem, ve'el kol ziknei Yisrael. One more time. V'yiktav Moshe et haTorah hazot, v'yitna el hakohanim b'nei Levi hanosim et Aaron, Brit Hashem, ve'el kol ziknei Yisrael. Okay, so the verbs this time around is Vayiktov, comes from the shorish katav, chaf tav veit, katav means to write. So this is a yiktov. Yiktov is in the Pa'al binyan. It is in the imperfect. Yiktov, he will write. He will write. Vayiktov. Vav Hippoc flips it, and he wrote. Who wrote? Moshe. Moshe wrote. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Vayitna. Vayitna. Okay. This is give or place. The root here is Natan. Nun. Tav. Nun. And so this is Vayitain. And yitain, he will give. Again, it's in the imperfect. Yitna. This is the direct object ending. This is a hey with a dagesh in it. So that we would translate that as it, feminine. Yitna, and he will give it. Yitna, he will give it. Vav flips it, Vayitna, and he gave. And he gave. What did he give? This hey, this feminine points to the Torah. The Torah is feminine. Okay, Vayitna, and he gave it. What did he give? The Torah. Vayitna, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. No seim. No seim. So this is truly not a verb, although it is a verb root. And I just wanted to speak about it for a second. It comes from the root nun sin aleph, nasa, which means to carry or to lift up, to pick up, to bear up. So this is in the participle form, which is an interesting feature of Biblical Hebrew. There's no true present tense in Biblical Hebrew, so the participle is about as good as it gets. And what's interesting about the participle form is that it's more or less the same word in the same form can be used as a verb, can be used as a noun, or can be used as an adjective. Okay, so that is a bit of the question here. We'll see in translations as to what's going on. So ha nosim. So I'm taking this to be used as a noun. Why? Because it looks like a noun. The nosim, the carriers. The carriers, the bearers. Okay. Nosim, the bearers. Okay, so that's the verbs. Let's go look at the non-verbs. So, V'yiktav Moshe et HaTorah, Moses wrote. What did he write? Et HaTorah, the Torah, meaning the Torah, of course. Hazot, this Torah. V'yitna, and he gave it, placed it, El HaKahanim, to the Kohanim, the priests. B'nai Levi, children of Levi. Hanosim, the carriers, the bearers of what? Et Aaron. Yeah, the carriers of the Aaron. Aaron means an ark or a box. So this is the Ark of the Covenant. Aaron Brit Hashem, the Ark of the Covenant of Hashem. And further, he gave it Ve'el Kol Ziknei Yisrael, and all to all the elders of Israel. Okay, so a lot of these we've seen before. Pretty simple verse this time around. Let's go see my translation. And Moses wrote this Torah, and he gave it to the Kohanim, the children of Levi, the bearers of the Ark of the Covenant of Hashem, and to all the elders of Israel. Okay, let's go look, see what KJV does with it. And Moses wrote this law and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and unto all the elders of Hashem. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Pretty good. So they which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, instead of saying bearers, they are having a sniff of the participle verb form here. Okay, we'll see why they do that in a second, because that's going to be common. NIV. So Moses wrote down this law and gave it to the Levitical priests, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. Okay, I don't like this as wrote down. There's no, it says Vayeilech, and he wrote. So this down is extra word. It's colloquial. Doesn't really need to be there. So also doesn't really need to be there. Gave it to the Levitical priests. So it doesn't say Levitical priests. It says the Kohanim, B'nai Levi, the priests who are the children of Levi. But okay, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. So who carried? I would prefer this to be in the present tense, but okay, that's fine. Who carry, so that they make that to be again a little bit more of the verb sense. I used it as a noun in my translation. I translated it as carriers, some sort of phrase that describes the Kohanim. They're taking it as some sort of participle verb phrase. So that is a bit of the fluidity. And I'll explain why they do that in a second, because we'll see more other translations do it. In RSV, they do it. Then Moses wrote down this law and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. They wrote down. I don't like down. Again, that's colloquial. Then is not in the Hebrew. It says Vayeilech, and he wrote. So then is not there. Who carried the ark? So we see again they prefer to use some sort of participle verb arrangement as opposed to a noun like I chose to do. Okay, JPS. Moses wrote down this teaching. I don't like down. It's not there. And to their credit, they don't add verbiage up front though. And gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who carried the ark of the Lord's covenant, and to all the elders of Israel. So who carried, again, they choose to express it as some sort of participle verb arrangement. Okay. Stone. Moses wrote this Torah and gave it to the Kohanim, sons of Levi, the bearers of the ark of the covenant of Hashem, and to all the elders of Israel. Okay, this is pretty much exactly what I translated as. I think this is very literal translation. Again, the bearers of the ark. They choose to translate Hanosiim as the bearers. They choose to take that participle form of the root and express it as a noun, as I did. So let's go look at the Hebrew again and see why there might be this difference. It's a little bit of confusion. So V'yiktav Moshe, and Moshe wrote Et HaTorah Hazot, and he wrote this Torah. V'yitna, and he gave it, the Torah, El HaKahanim, to the priests. Okay, now watch this. B'nai Levi, the children of Levi, Ha-nosiim et Aron Brit Hashem. So we have a couple, some little indicators in two different directions here. Ha-nosiim, the hey would indicate that this is some sort of noun. The ones who carry the ark, right? That is a noun. However, et would seem to indicate some sort of direct object. So we can really go either way of this. We can say ha-nosiim, who the carriers of the ark, blah blah, or many of the translations prefer to translate it as which or who carry, some sort of participle verb arrangement, and then et Aaron. So they want to say that this et indicates that it is being used as a verb. Okay, so I would say the Hebrew is ambiguous. We have some indication this is some sort of noun. We have some sort of indication that this is possibly in some sort of verb. And this just goes to show that the participle form in biblical Hebrew is a weird form. Sometimes it has some confusion surrounding it as to how to go with it. So we'll leave it at that. I chose one way. Our art school agreed with me. I think it sounds better. I think that's really what's being said here. Others chose to focus on et, and they reasoned that if you have a direct object, you need a verb. So that is no doubt what animated their choices in translation. So I'm not going to pigpile on that choice. I see either choice is, has its points. However, I will pigpile on this writing down that a lot of the verses, a lot of the translations did. It's extra verb, it's just not here in the Hebrew. V'yiktav Moshe et HaTorah. Moses wrote the Torah. Hazot, this Torah. So there's no need to say that he wrote it down. We see how many of the translations do that. So we have the NIV, we have the NRSV, we have the JPS. Yeah, so those three use this language. I think it's just sort of colloquial English sneaking into the translation. So anyway, my personal preference is with the stone here, who take that participle form of nosa as a noun, bearers. But you see here, the majority of the translations don't go with me, and I think that they have a defensible position on that as well. So all in all, the translations are not awful, save for I think a few little superficial points. Okay, that's that. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you'll join me again next week. I hope we can make a strong finish together for the Torah for this cycle. Kol Tuv, Sakaraba, keep learning.